Hi everybody, welcome back. For this hat, it's super thick. You see, it stands up by itself. The story of this hat. So, it's black and yellow because Snuggle Buddy loves Dortmund, Germany's volleyball soccer team. And their colors are black and white, or black and yellow. So he told me he wanted a sports hat, but he didn't want horizontal stripes. He wanted vertical. And I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? So I sat down and I worked this up real quick and I thought, yep, I'm going to do a tutorial on this. And for the black and yellow, I think the black was Oakland black, and I don't remember what the yellow was. But anyway, for this hat, for the one we're going to make, you're going to need one skein of Hometown USA, or whatever colors you want for the sports team you want to make it for. But this color is Napa Valley Pinot. I don't know. Anyway, the other one that I'm going to use for this one is Madison Mustard. And we're going to use, hold on a second, let me get this. Okay. There. 6.5 millimeter hook. And I'm going to start with my darker color first. Find an end. Oh. You do this off camera. Okay, finally got that mess taken care of. Alright, so to start, we're going to start with our slip knot on our hook. Okay, we're going to chain 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I got my chain of 24 done. And then I'm just going to single crochet in the second chain from hook all across my chain. And I wanted to also add in this that there's no weaving in all those color change ends. I'm going to show you guys how I carry the yarn up what will be the inside of the hat, so you guys don't have to worry about weaving in a bunch of ends. So go ahead and just single crochet across your chain. I'll meet you guys back down here. Alrighty, I made it back to the end. Worked on my last single. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now I'm going to work back loop single crochets. So if you see, your single crochet has a front, or well, it depends what's facing you. So in this case, this would be the back, and there's the front. So what we're going to do is we're only going to be working into these back loops. So we're just going to go into the back, pull up a loop, and go through. So what it's doing is leaving that front loop out, I guess you could say, which makes like this, let me show you. So it leaves this line up the hat. Can't see it on the black, but I just think it gives it a little more definition. Alright, go ahead and keep working that across. Back loop. I messed up. No, I didn't. All right, so go ahead and work your back loop, single crochets down here, and I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm back to with my last couple of stitches left. So I'm going to go into this one, and now for my last one, I'm going to go in, pull up a loop, but I'm not going to finish that. Leave those 2 loops on there, and I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to leave enough tail with my yellow, and I'm just going to hook it on there, hold on to it, and pull it through those 2 loops, and then pull down on that red a little bit. So I'm going to grab the working part of the yellow, chain 1, turn. I'm just going to hold on to it right here so it doesn't get a huge loop up here. So I chained 1 and turn, and now I'm just going to keep working the back loop singles across. Oop, I misapply. You can drop your yellow now. But these are the only 2 ends at the beginning for when we change color. So go ahead and keep working your back post singles all the way across. I think I'm just going to stay on here and get this done real quick. Oh. Keep working along. Into our last one. Get it in there. All right, now we're going to chain 1 and turn. Keep working our back loop. Go into that very first one, because here's a loop on our hook. Let me get that out. Here's our loop. Here's our chain 1, and here's our first single. It's a lot easier to show you with the yellow. All right, so go ahead and go into that back loop. Work it all the way down. But yeah, whenever Matt asked me to do this hat for him, he said, everybody has a horizontal striped sports hat. He goes, I don't want horizontal, I want vertical. And I thought, honey, that is going to elongate your head. It's going to look weird. Well, finally, I broke down and I was like, fine, I'll make one. So I sat down and I started working one up, designing it. And I got to, before I put the pom-pom on, and I thought, wow, I did really good. I'm proud of myself. And then I thought, yeah, I'm going to do a tutorial on that. But about to the end here. But anyway, when he first told me about him wanting a vertical striped one, that was like a year ago, and I never did it. But yeah, I finally broke down and did it for him. I was like, I should have done that a long time ago. But anyway, so you can see our ridges. There, can you see the red one? The red ridge right there? Then we got our yellow. All right, so we did our 2 rounds. So I'm going to go into the back loop of the last single, which might be a little tight. 2 loops. Don't finish that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you that how I have my yarn. So I have my yellow to the front of me, and then the reddish to the left a little bit. So what I'm going to do is every time I change color, so like for this yellow, I'm just going to toss it this way, and I'm going to pick up the maroon. And And I don't want to fasten off, or pull this through really tight. I'm just gonna do it real loose. So just pick up, your red from where you started, yarn over, pull through. Tug a little bit on that yellow, pull it down. Chain one, and we're going to turn. So now, having my yarn, my yellow here and my red to the left of it, it's never going to get tangled coming up this side. And I'll go ahead and keep working to show you. So I chained one, turn, go into the back loop. So this, it's a little hard to explain, but the way it's going to work up is you can kind of see right here, move my yellow out of the way. See that line right there? That's where I carried the yarn up. And what that is, this is going to be the top and the inside. So we're going to make a tube basically, and then when we sew the top up like a cinch sack, it's going to be cinch closed, and you're never going to see this, which I thought was pretty cool. But anyway, keep working your back post singles. Go ahead and work this across, and I'll meet you back at the end. Alright, I made it back to the end. Work my last back post, or back loop, chain one and turn. Start the next row. Oh, I yarned over. So just keep working just like normal. Back loop. All across. I'm just about to the end, so I'm going to go ahead and just stay on here. So now as we get closer to the end, we're back to where our new color starts. Into that last one. Don't finish it off. Pull this to the front. Pick up my gold. So see, I'm making this one go forward, and then this one to the back. So I'm just going to pick it up. Don't do it overly tight. Well, come on. Pull it through. Pull down on that red. Pick up my yellow. Chain one and turn. And see where I'm carrying it? How it's coming up and it's not getting tangled? Chain one and turn. And repeat. Just keep doing your back rows. Or back loops. So keep repeating that 2 rows of each color, of your 2 colors, and so you got your 2 rows of each color, back loops, and every time, your first round's going this way, your second round's going to come back, and there's your new color, and just pick it up, toss one away from you so it's not getting tangled, and keep working that, and I'll meet you guys back around when we've worked enough to make a tube to go fit around our head. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and I repeated that color sets 44 for 44 rows. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. So 44 rows. And I wanted it to do the last row in the opposite color that I started. So whenever we slip stitch it together, it's not going to be a big chunk of the maroon color. So if you do less than 44, just make sure whatever you end on is the opposite of what you began with. Okay, so now we're going to slip stitch it closed. Get my yarn untangled here. Okay. So now, if you remember earlier, I said that the side that we carried the yarn up on is going to be on the inside. Well, to do that, we are going to slip stitch it on the outside, and then we're going to flip it inside, so then it's going to hide this and our slip stitch that we used to close it. So lay it out with your carried yarn on the underneath, on the bottom. And then we're going to just bring it together like so. Okay. So we're just going to bring it together and we're going to turn. So on your last slip stitch, go ahead and do your chain 1. Bring it together. Let me zoom back in on this. There we go. Bring it together. And we're going to work a slip stitch down our chain and our last row. However, since we're going to be flipping this out, I want to use the loop on to us this is going to be the back loop. So the back loop and the last chain, or the loop that's hanging out from our beginning chain. So it's going to be a little wonky at first. So set it together. Going to go ahead and go in that back loop. And then pick up your chain, the loop that remains from your chain, and then, oop, and then work your slip stitch. This first one is a little wonky. Okay. Your back loop, and the remaining loop of your chain, slip stitch. Keep losing my plies. Back loop. Did it again. I like whenever I slip stitch, I kind of pull it up, you know, to get that loop just a tiny bit bigger. It's going to be really tight. Okay, so our back loop, our chain, slip stitch, back loop, chain, and whenever I was working on this, I thought I should have told them these, dang it, these skeins that I used have 81 yards. And by the time we're done with this, we're going to have plenty for our pom-pom. We're going to work a single crochet round around the bottom if you want to. You don't have to. I like it just because it breaks up that, you know, the vertical stripes. So go ahead and keep working your slip stitches down. Oh. Back loop. Get in there. So yeah, whenever we flip this around, our yarn that we carried up is going to hide, and then the slip stitch is going to be hidden. Whenever I was picking out colors to make this, I'm not a big sports person. I know, I mean, I know a little. And whenever I was picking out the yarn to design this hat, not the Dortmund soccer hat, but this one, I told my boyfriend, I said, I don't even think this is a sports color. He's like, honey, that's like 5 sports teams colors. I was like, oh. Oh, missed the ply on that one. Just about there. Was that the back loop? Yeah, it was. Get in there. Around that chain. Okay, so the last one, we're going to go in our last back loop and then shove it in there. Slip stitch. All right. So there's our slip stitch closed. Let me back this up a little. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a long loop to keep from losing that. I'm going to flip it out. All right. So our seam right here, can you see it? It's smashed in there. So our seam is hidden and our carry yarn is on the inside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a like a drawstring to go around the top to pull that all together. Okay, so let me see. Actually, I think we're going to work the single crochet round at the bottom first. Holy cow, I am all kinds of tangled up. Let me, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what we're going to do is that slip stitch that, or I mean that last, yeah, the last slip stitch that we did to close the hat. Let me zoom back in. All right, we're just going to chain one, pull up a loop so we have some tail to weave in and cut it. Okay. Now we are going to do the drawstring. And I'm going to go ahead and do it with the maroon. Back this up. Alright. Try to back my camera up a little so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, we got some tails here, but we're not going to worry about those right now. So what I want you to do is get a longer piece. I'd say about, I don't know, 2 foot maybe. Cut that. Get you a yarn needle. We're going to run that through one end. Okay. So make sure you got the right end, the one with your yarn carry on it. And I'm just going to start where I have a tail right there. And I'm just going to start weaving that in and out. It doesn't matter how close, how far, just go in, shove her in there, and out. In and out. I'm not, strategically placing these or anything. I'm just running them in and out. Where was I? Okay, go ahead and work that until you get back to where you started, which is right here. Work that all the way around, and I'll meet you back on this side. Okay guys, so I accidentally messed up my video. I don't know what I pushed, but you didn't see me close the end. I don't think. I don't know. Anyway, what I did is you seen me weave it in and out at the top. And what I did is I worked it till I got back to where I started. Pulled it as tight as I could. And then just did a double knot. And the cool thing about it is if you've ever worked, you know, something like this where you're pulling the top tight and you're trying to keep it as tight as you can and work a double knot, the yarn will kind of slowly loosen. But on this, as soon as you tighten it up, it stays and you can let go and then, you know, do your other knot. But anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I pushed the wrong button or something. Anyway, so what I want you guys to do, weave in all these ends. You got some on the inside to weave in. You see in there? Anyway, weave in your ends and come back, and then we're going to work the single crochet round. All right, well, I'm going to get that done, and I'll meet you guys back. Okay, guys, I got all my ends weaved in, and now I'm going to start with the single crochet round, and I want to go with the maroon, I think. I think that would... I like the way that looks. So I'm just going to find a place to start. I'm probably going to start where I slipped stitched it. Blah, blah, blah. Slipped stitched it shut. I can't speak. Okay, let me zoom in a little for you. Alright. So where my slip stitch is, you can see it right there. I'm going to start there. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my... Ooh, lost that one. Start with a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got a tail long enough to weave in. I'm just gonna insert it, work my my single crochet, and then I'm just gonna kind of evenly space out crochets, single crochets. The way it's looking. So we're going to skip the chain one and first single right here and just go to that loop, and then I'm going to go in here, see how it's looking on this side. I don't like it. Starting over. All right. So now I'm going to work with the top of the hat facing me. I messed that up. Alright, now put the slip stitch on my hook, chain one, and single crochet back in the space. There we go, that's better. Alright, now I'm going to start just evenly spacing out singles the best I can. It's not going to be perfect. Who is? It's kind of a far reach, so I'm going to put another single in there. I'm working over my tail so I don't have to hide it later. Put another one in there. Reach over. Put another one in there. So it looks like I'm gonna just evenly space out around. If you get too many, you're gonna be able to tell because it's gonna kind of start warping. Excuse me. Go there, go there, go there. I'm gonna work another one in there. Go there. That's how it's looking so far. So just evenly space them out around. I mean, you guys use your best judgment on that. It's really hard to explain exactly where I'm going on each one. I'm just seeing an opening and going in there. If you guys can hear that, that's my wrist cracking every time I twist my wrist. Let's keep going. All right, I'm gonna keep working around and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Alrighty, I made it back around. Now I'm just gonna slip stitch into my first single, which, oh, if I could get in camera. So I'm just gonna slip stitch right into my first one, chain one, pull up a loop, cut. All right, and there's my brim. It's looking cute. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and do my pom-pom off camera because there's, you know, thousands of videos on YouTube on how to do a pom-pom. But I'm going to go make mine. This is what I have left out of, you know, working my hat. Let me back this up. Out of working my hat, which is going to be plenty for a pom-pom. But anyway, I'm going to go make that. I'm going to be using both, you know, the strand from each color. And so yeah, I'm going to go make that and then I'll show you how to attach it. Okay guys, I'm back. I got my pom-pom made. So now I'm going to take one strand, run it on my needle. Oh, there went my crochet hook. So I'm going to find the hole, like there should be a little hole in the middle. And I'm going to go in one side of that. Pull that in. And now what I'm going to do with the other strand, yarn, whatever. Ugh, I split it. Okay, is go in on the opposite side. Pull that through. And then all I'm going to do is pull it tight. And I'm just going to tie it like you tie your shoe. That way, if I ever decide that I want to take it off, all I have to do is untie it, untie the bow. And there you go. There's your sports team's hat. Weave in your tail there, but I hope you guys like it. Leave me a comment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys, appreciate you watching. Bye.